Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and to installment 3 of the Sydney layout build. In the first 2 installments of this series you will have seen me build the lower staging yard. For this installment I'm going to build a sample control panel using some really neat push buttons that I found. The idea is to get one button routing for each track. So without further ado, let's just head out to the workshop and build this control panel. Well, I'm back out in the workshop again today. It's been a few days. In fact, it's been a whole week since I've been out here because it was freezing cold last week and I elected to spend the time catching up on inside work. Anyway, today I have got the BDL 168 occupancy detector board all wired up. I've got 15 sections in use and 1 spare. I've also inserted all the feeders for this yard ladder. I haven't soldered them in yet because the soldering iron's inside, so I'm going to go in, get that and come back out after lunch and do it. This piece of plywood on top of the benchwork has 3 circuit boards mounted on it, 1 BDL 168 for occupancy detection and 2 quad LM boards for turnout controls. I was almost able to do it with 1. I had 16 outputs on each board and I needed 17. So unfortunately I have to mount a second board there. But that won't be a big deal. Once the layout's further advanced and I've got the second deck in, I'll be able to take wires between the 2 and use up extra outputs so I'm not wasting boards. Well, this afternoon I have finished installing all the feeders for both yard ladders, this end and the one way down in the distance, and I've also finished the temporary control panel and got it mounted. I say temporary control panel, it's basically just a sample, a proof of concept more than anything else. Ultimately the main staging level tracks will run just underneath it and the mezzanine staging level will be just behind it, and of course the upper deck will be way up in the air. So I think that gets it the perfect height without getting in the way of anything. And then all the control panels will be at that height, regardless of what level they apply to. The supports right now are just cobbled together from scrap lumber. I don't even know if it's exactly the right height yet. But obviously I can't do it properly until the next staging level has been built. So thanks again to Robin of N3IX. I'm sure you'll hear that name a lot more as this layout progresses. Here is a sample local control panel with the staging yard ladder set up for 1 button activation of each route. These toggle switches will ultimately be used to isolate the tracks, although they're not hooked up yet because, as I mentioned, this is only a temporary panel. These 9 push buttons with the LEDs on them, each of them sets a separate route. So we've got 8 turnouts, 9 push buttons. I've included the turnout numbers just in case you ever want to throw 1 turnout with a throttle, but there should never be a need to do that. Whichever button I press, it throws all the turnouts necessary for that route and shows that route as green. So this tells us that that is now the route that's set. So there will always be 1 green LED and 1 red LED. And you could probably hear that sometimes more than 1 turnout gets thrown. And they all work. Okay, if I move the camera, I'm going to set track 5, which is the one in the middle, and you should be able to see all 4 turnouts changing. Let's just get the camera into the right location. I'm not sure we'll be able to see the distant one, but all 4 turnouts for route for track 5 should change with 1 button press. Well, that's all for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video, found it interesting or useful, or both. I mentioned the name before, Robin Becker of N3IX. If you want to do something similar to what I've shown, then feel free to contact him. He's very, very helpful, and the respective component parts are available through his website. So I'm just going to sign off there, and hope to see you back again next week. So in the meantime, thanks for watching, and bye for now.